Good morning, Elizabeth, and ladies and gentlemen. I am Lydia, and I'm here to tell you all about the wonderful colony of Massachusetts. Now, before I inform you about the wonders that await us there, I want to thank you, personally, Elizabeth, for doing such a kind and generous thing for us, the people of America. I'm sure everyone here appreciates your generous offer to donate money to 2 colonies, and such a generous sum as well. And now, about Massachusetts. Well, we were started because of the kindness of King Henry. As you know, he created the Church of England in 1533. Now, Puritans like myself appreciated this church, but we wished to alter just a few things, not main points or anything, though. Anglicans, however, some of them, I'm sure not you, my lady, did not share our opinions, and they unfairly persecuted us. I do believe you would never do such a thing, for you are too gentle a lady to be involved in such crudeness and unkindness. My husband's friend, the estimable John Winthrop, became a part of the Massachusetts Bay Company and procured a charter for us before we set sail in 1630. It was a hard journey, and once we arrived, we turned to farming as a way of obtaining a good food supply. The land, however, was rocky and hilly, so we at first did not understand how to farm it. The men and boys hunted and fished to complete our meals, but eventually we learned to live in this new environment, and some settlers turned to new types of work to better our lives. We had blacksmiths, innkeepers, mill owners, general stores, milliners, and many other occupations, of course, that made our lives much more enjoyable. Now, the Indians helped us with their tasks, gave us new foods, showed us hunting grounds and fishing spots, and they were overall very kind to us. Eventually, our farmers started making more than enough food for us, and even more settlers wanted different jobs. The colonists who were boat builders and fishermen in England decided to create a fishing industry, and we grew wealthy off cod, our main catch. My husband and other men also built many ships, for our forests were full of tall, healthy trees, as well as young saplings. The shipbuilders sold their ships to local merchants and in England. People opened new shops, stores, and buildings like ironworks and woodworking shops. These were very helpful to our economy. Now, we did recognize slavery, but we do not have many slaves as of late, because our economy doesn't really need them. Now, there was another smaller group of people that had settled in Massachusetts as well. They were the Pilgrims, and they were separatists and wished to create a new church and get rid of the Church of England, but we were very opposed to this idea and did not meet them very much. Our ideas were separate, so we found no reason to stay near each other. Indians came to them, however, because they were having a hard winter, and Squanto, who also spoke English, assisted them to survive. However, the Indians did soon create trouble for the settlers. The chief of the Wampanoag tribe, whose name was Massasoit, was a very kind man, but however, he died sadly as of natural causes. His son, Medicom, was a brutal, evil, horrible person. I'm sure you would not like him. The English were only trying to show the good religion of Christianity to the savages so that they might be saved from eternal damnation. Medicom, whom the English called King Philip, prepared for a war. 3 of his savages killed a Christian Indian, and they were found guilty, of course, so Medicom attacked. In the war, many died, all because of a chief they did not know when to stop. The Indians were terrorizing the settlers, so they had to kill Medicom. A necessary sacrifice to stop all of the bloodshed. The war ended and things eventually became back to normal. This may sound like a sad happening, but it was not our fault at all. My friends and I, of course, were quite nervous for our families. We all wished it to end as soon as possible. Now, we have many towns in Massachusetts, but there are 2 main ones. One is Salem and one is Boston. In Salem, there were misunderstandings between neighbors, and therefore the witch trials. 19 people were killed, but the people of Salem and the surrounding areas quickly realized their wrongs, and of course repented immediately. This is something that any good Christian would do, as I'm sure you and your soon-to-be husband would. Now, Boston was the largest town of the entire colonies. We had 7,000 people, in fact, which I'm sure you realize is a great number, especially for a town in America. Now, Boston was a port town, as was Salem, and so both towns had ships coming in and out, creating a booming economy. Now, in Boston, there were some streets that were cobbled with gutters down the middle, but most streets were dirt, as is befitting of a town. There were picture signs in front of the shops, taverns, and businesses, as to better illustrate their purposes, for those Bostonians that could not read. For example, if you were going to the Green Dragon Tavern, there would be a green dragon emblem. Now, the busiest part of Boston was the port at the eastern edge. It had fishing boats, passenger ships, and cargo ships that were constantly going in and out of the city. The port made it easy to obtain goods from Europe. Now, there was another town, a small one, Plymouth, and the Pilgrims had settled there when they arrived in America. Of course, you must know that Massachusetts is one of the more, shall I say, highly established colonies, better than the Carolinas and Georgia, for example. They only have a few elite and many poor. We do have several poor, but we also have a strong middle class, and that is what makes all the difference in a wonderful colony. As well as this, we Puritans have a hard work ethic, and you would not want your money going to someone unlike us who would slack off when performing their rightful duties. There's a picturesque setting, of course, many wonderful people. On the whole, it is one of the better colonies that I think you will see, and I do hope that you will donate a sum of money to us. Now, it is a wonderful thing that you are doing this, and I want to thank you again, because it is so generous and so kind that you would think to do such a thing. In fact, there are many nobles who have been doing the like, and several of them have chosen Massachusetts as a proper colony to donate to. I'm sure that your fiancé would approve of donating to Massachusetts, as would all of your peers, friends, family, everyone you know in England. The people of Massachusetts would like me to thank you on their behalf for just coming and seeing the colonies. Thank you very much, my lady, and I bid you farewell.